Good afternoon, everyone. September 5th, 2018. I'm Eric. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're well. Okay, so at the DCClothesline.com, United Nations to Facebook, please label fewer violent activist groups terrorists. In a letter to Facebook CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, or Fuckerberg, for those of you who prefer that, Fiona Nula, Nee Elaine, an academic lawyer specializing in human rights, contended the social networking giant erroneously categorized all non-state actors using violent means for political and social purposes as terror groups. The use of such a sweeping definition is particularly worrying in light of a number of governments seeking to stigmatize diverse forms of dissent and opposition, whether peaceful or violent, as terrorism, wrote Nee Elaine, or Elaine, however you want to say it. And then another one, old TV broadcast. Old TV broadcast that warns of the end of civilization in 2040, found as the elite warn Earth's landscape set to undergo major transformation. And we already see this transformation beginning to happen with all the volcanic activity, all the seismic activity, and the odd weather patterns. So, an old television broadcast from 1973, the year I was born, has been discovered that warns that things will start getting really bad on this planet around the year 2020, which may explain why the population of the United States is forecasted to be around 100 million by the year 2025. So, and our current civilization will come to an end in 2040. And these things aren't that far off, especially the 2025. I don't think I'll make it to 2040, but it's possible. In the 1973 television broadcast focused on an MIT computer model known as World 1 that attempted to predict what growing pollution and population levels would mean for our planet if nothing was done. This computer model was funded by the Club of Rome, and these days the exact same people are still trying to scare us into giving up our national sovereignty for the good of the planet so they can implement their new world order. They hope to convince all of us that we are about to die. And look, nothing the human population does now, or nothing they've said should be done by the population, such as not driving our cars anymore, eating less meat, all that kind of stuff. It would not have made a difference if we had stopped doing these things back in 1973. We have no control over what the sun does, and we have no control over the events that take place in space that contribute to our earthly problems. So, so it's supposed to start getting really bad on this planet in the next couple of years. I mean, 2018 is almost over with already, and 2019 is right here, right? So 2020 is only, what, a year and a half away? Then we can already see these things starting to unfold. Next, Okay, so I didn't see the Nike commercial with that Kirkpatrick guy. And you know my stand on the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance. It's a song. And the Pledge of Allegiance is a brainwashing tool to get young people used to the idea of being or having allegiance to a authoritarian government. And so this new Nike commercial really shows the power of crowd psychology. Now, I uploaded a video yesterday called Thinking Beyond the Group. You really, really should check it out. It does explain a bit about why things are the way they are, and it's a result of group psychology. And this really does, it really does show those mechanisms at work. So outrage against Nike explodes online. Slave factories, evil monster corporation, makes users want to puke. Okay, well, here's the thing. Apple uses slave factories. Any corporation that has moved to China or Mexico, they use slave factories. And pretty much all the products that we have made outside our country, with the exception of Canada, of course, and a couple others, you know, the third world countries like China, and people would argue that China's not a third world country, but I would beg to differ on that one. I do believe they are a third world country. I have a friend of mine that goes to China pretty frequently, and he's telling me that only the cities there are modern, and the rest of the people live in squalor and hut buildings and this kind of thing. So it's third world. Speaking of third world, Detroit. Detroit had to shut off all the water to the schools because it was so contaminated with lead and other materials. I would have to say that we are slowly but surely turning into a third world nation ourselves. Look at California, look at Detroit, look at Flint, Michigan, look at Baltimore, Boston, and so on and so forth. New York. These places are eroding at an alarming rate, and people can't get out of there fast enough. So, and, you know, outrage is exploding online against Nike, which signed the cop-hating, American flag-hating NFL crybaby Colin Kirkpatrick to a promotion deal in a desperate act of virtue signaling. This guy, Colin Kirkpatrick, he is not obligated to stand and put his hand over his heart. He's not obligated to sing the national anthem. These things are silly. These things are silly to be upset over. I mean, come on. You're upset over a song, over a pledge. So what if he doesn't want to pledge his allegiance to a tyrannical government? I don't either. I'm not on his side. I don't like the motherfucker. He is exaggerating how bad things are for the black community while ignoring the amount of white people killed by cops every year, not to mention the crimes committed against white people from both the black community and the Mexican community. So if anyone should be pissed off, honestly, it should be white people. It should. Continuing on. So, Florida Democrat gubernatorial candidate Andrew Gillum. Thank you, George Soros. And of course, George Soros is the main donor to this guy, and he's the one that was on TV whining about the other candidate, saying, monkey up. Look, anytime white people use the word monkey, we're not necessarily talking about black people. For example, when I say something to my girlfriend, I might say after, with your monkey ass. So, the term monkey is not only meant to be a derogatory for black people, it's a turn of phrase. Meaning, we don't want this guy to fuck up our economy like the other states who put democratic socialists into office. That's what he meant. But Soros is his #1 donor, and you're not supposed to talk about it. Alright. The Pope is a pedophilia denialist and an affront to God, allows demons to rape little children. Pope Francis, head of the Roman Catholic Empire, doesn't want to acknowledge the countless Catholic clergy that are pedophiles who rape little boys. He similarly refused to acknowledge the recent purge that took place in Pennsylvania, resulting in some 300 child-raping Catholic priests being nabbed as active participants in a massive pedophile ring. And a lot of people out there like to talk about the evil Catholics and how they rule everything. Let me tell you something. You can criticize the Catholic Church, the Pope, without any kind of backlash. So I would say that while they may be involved at some level, they're not the rulers. You remember what Voltaire said. He said, if you want to know who rules over you, just try to, and this is paraphrasing, just look at who you're not allowed to criticize. And as far as I can see, the only people on this planet we're not allowed to criticize is the Jewish people. You criticize them in any way, shape, or form, and the derogatory name is automatically thrown at you, anti-Semite. And I would have to say that literally is the only group that you can not say a fucking thing about without being condemned as a anti-Semitic scumbag. So, let's see, what else here? What else? California candidate for governor promises free health care for all illegal immigrants. Gavin Newsom is running for governor in California, and he's already bragging about his plans to drive the state into financial oblivion. The gubernatorial candidate just announced his plans to launch a universal health care program for illegal immigrants statewide, and in any other state, such an idea would send voters running for the hills. But on the left coast, anything goes. What else here? What else? Former Utah Congressman Jason Chaffetz, The Deep State is Real. In his new book titled The Deep State, How an Army of Bureaucrats Protected Barack Obama and is Working to Destroy Donald Trump, Jason Chaffetz alleges that the deep state is very real. His book, which is set to be published on September 18th, details the lengths the intelligence community is going in an attempt to undermine Trump. Maybe it's true. Senator Dianne Feinstein, Mrs. and Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in. If Kavanaugh is confirmed, more people will be shot and killed. People are going to get shot and killed no matter who's in office. I mean, you have these maniacs hyped up on steroids, running around, pulling people over, shooting them in the back. Oh, wait, that's not the kind of shooting and murder that she's talking about. The irrationality of communists is utterly amazing. In the latest evidence of a lack of logic or rationale, critical thinking to come from communists, and hire of Chinese spies, Senator Dianne Feinstein said the Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh was way beyond pro-gun, and that if he was confirmed, assault weapon bans would stop and more people would be shot and killed. But the vast majority of gun crimes is committed with handguns. They don't want you to have the rifle because you can actually defend yourself with it, you know, against police and any other government agency who wants to infringe on your natural rights. Oh, Feinstein, that bitch should just go fuck herself. She needs to die or retire or something. Egyptian media, John McCain was the godfather leader and real supreme guide of the Muslim Brotherhood, and this should not be a surprise to anybody. McCain has already been canonized by an establishment media desperate to destroy President Trump in any way it can, but in Egypt, they're not so worshipful. McCain was the main supporter of the terrorist brotherhood, or Muslim Brotherhood. Senator McCain was the one who opened up the Congress to the Brotherhood. He was the one arranging the meetings and appointments and providing them with protection. Hero, right? Hero. And I've already covered that, so we won't go over it. Anyway, I thought I would share these headlines from DCClothesline.com. If you want to know more about any particular one, visit them and read further into the articles. So, I could use your help. A thumbs up, a share. If I'm worthy of your spare dollars, PayPal link is below. And I'm also looking for individuals to join me on this channel. If you may be interested, give me a holler, because I really do want to add some people. Till next time, kill the state, live free.